Hi, we're in Shackerstone for Bosworth Links Digs Shackerstone. It's day one, our volunteers are gathering, they are ready to get their briefing, collect their equipment and then distribute to test pits across the village.
So I'm so excited to be a part of this dig in Shackerstone. I'm from the village originally, I've lived here for 30 years, so to find out what is underneath the ground we walk on every day is really exciting, really intriguing. I've always been interested in archaeology. I applied to do archaeology at university, didn't end up doing it, but getting involved in something like this is just like my dream come true. So we've been to the briefing this morning. We are starting off by taking the turf off the top of our pit. We are currently in my garden, in my house. And then we are to dig 10 centimetre increments to see what we find. We're sieving all the soil and hoping to find some exciting things.
So we've just got here this morning, as start of my volunteer morning, and we've taken the turf off the top, and already we've found what looks like a surface underneath. We're just waiting for the experts to come along and just tell me what we've found. So only an inch down, we've already found something.
Let's see what it looks like when it's cleaned up, I think.
So I'm here, I have a love of archaeology since school. I have watched Time Team on TV and Digging for Britain, but thanks to the Bosworth links, I'm actually here experiencing and managed to get hands-on working alongside serious archaeologists. Over the weekend, I expect to be able to learn about our finds. At the moment, I'm relying on some of our more seasoned archaeologists to tell me what things are. At the moment, in my little finds, I'm not sure what they are, so I just want to learn and enjoy myself and come back.
We're in Shackerstone today at the site of the infamous rumoured Mott and Bailey Castle. We're on spit 2 of a dig, which is the second layer that we've taken out of the ground. And so far we've found a couple of interesting finds, which is a little bit of plastic pipe, and then the most interesting so far is a little bit of earthenware pottery that's come out. I've got involved in this because of a Facebook post on the local village group. Got my brother and my dad involved, who are all semi-willing volunteers that have come down. We've been joined with Hannah and Judith, who are seasoned experts that are showing us the ropes. It's been really interesting so far. Hopefully we're going to find a lot more.
Here we are in the castle field. We're on test pit 17. There's 4 of us all together. This is a really good dig so far. At the moment, spit 1, hardly anything, mainly soil, hardly any stones either. So we carried on. Spit 2 came up with a small bead. Now we don't know whether it is glass or whether it's plastic, not sure, but there's definitely a hole through the middle, so it's definitely a bead, not a marble. Then we found a tooth, possibly a sheep's tooth, one of the back ones there, so that's interesting. We've got a lot of sheep in the field anyway, so that's not a surprise really. We're found in some building material. We believe we are on top of a medieval house, so we're hoping that we will find building material. Then we found burning, so there's a little bit of charcoal there. Makes sense if we are on a house. And then a little bit further down, so we're between 10 and 20 centimetres, we have found medieval pottery. It's been explained to us that there's a very small shiny glitter coverage on there, which shows that that's the glaze on a medieval piece of pottery. So hopefully we will be finding some more, and we'll keep you posted.
We're in Castle Field, test pit 16. We're down to the bottom of level 2. The first level there was really nothing of interest to find, but level 2 is starting to find 1 or 2 bits of medieval potteries, panchinware and so on. Not a great deal, but towards the bottom of the layer we've come across much more stony possibly a surface. We're not sure if it is or not, but we've just cleaned that back, so we'll wait for guidance on whether that's something that we need to record or not. We're interested in this area because behind us is a possible Mott for a Norman castle, so we've been told, although there's some uncertainty about whether it is actually that. But if it is, then where we're digging could be the bailey of that castle. So we're full of hope and expectation that as we go further down we may find evidence of the Norman castle.
Shackerstone is a village with an intriguing history. Behind me, this enormous earth mound is possibly a castle. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. No one knows, it's never been looked at before. Other suggestions have been it's a part of a formal landscape garden for the lost Shackerstone Hall. We're going to be able to dig test pits here this weekend and hopefully start to answer that question. We know Shackerstone was here from at least the late 11th century. It's first mentioned in the Domesday Book in 1086. There are references to two manors here in the medieval period, one for the Danvers family, one for the Sheppey family. There's a reference to a lost hall, first mentioned in 1660, that burnt down in 1845. These and the way the village formed in the medieval period are all the sort of questions we want to have a go at answering during this weekend of test pitting. And then there's another intriguing possibility. Shackerstone is a complete black hole for pre-medieval archaeology. So is there any evidence of a prehistoric landscape here, a Roman landscape? We just don't know, and we're looking forward to answering that question.
It's an amazing opportunity to meet up with lots of archaeological people, such as Matthew Morris, Gemma, of course, Will, who is our absolute expert on bones and on oyster shells, if we ever find any here. I happen to be in Test Pit 14, and it's right next to the cake store, which is over there, which is fantastic. We've even got indoor toilets with running water. We can wash our hands for lunch, which is fantastic. This is an amazing site. We've already found lots and lots of different things, including pottery, and I've got some pottery shards here that have been found by the team. Some glass, various different coloured glass. We've got brown glass, white glass, and even green glass. We've also found pottery that's shaped. Now we think that that's some kind of vessel. Again, we're not entirely sure without waiting for our archaeological experts to come and show us. So hopefully that's a little bit about our dig.
My name's Mark Tilley. Complete newbie to this. It's something I've always wanted to do, never really had the time. And it was recommended to me by a friend who saw it on social media. And yes, I mean, I've turned up. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how I would be greeted. But the people, everyone I've spoken to so far is so friendly, informative, and really, really helpful. We've found quite a few interesting finds, or I find interesting. We've found clay pipe, or part of a clay pipe bowl, lots of pottery. We're hopefully going to be encouraged by what we've found so far and what lays beneath.
It's down now onto our third spit, but we've done two full spits, so that's 20 centimetres. It's lovely soil, it's garden soil. These houses were built in the 1950s, but they were built on top of allotments. So these allotments must have had tens and tens of years of muck and double digging, and the soil is beautiful. And in the soil you find exactly what you'd expect to find in garden soil, because of course didn't get bin men, didn't get main sewage here, so your muck went on the allotments, your muck went on the fields, and you got all your bits and pieces from house are going to turn up there. So we've got bits of pot, 2 bits of pot, we've got loads of bits of brick and tile, we've got bits of bone, animal bone, Sunday dinner, the odd button. I think that's a shirt button, I'm not 100% sure. And that's little bits of foil and all sorts of things, because the worms take things down, and sometimes the worms bring things up as well. So you find all sorts of things in garden soil, and that's exactly what we've got here. Mostly I think all of it is going to be 1900s, early 2000s at the very latest. I think we may possibly have something from the late 1800s. We had half of the bowl of a clay pipe, which might possibly have been around the turn of the 1900s. But that's it, and hopefully we'll get through the next layer and find more things in it.
Hi, hello, I'm Jo. I'm a new volunteer here. I've never tried this before. We've seen it on telly, and it was a local community thing from the railway that we work at, and we thought we'd come along and have a go and see what it was like. So I had no idea how to do. We went to a couple of little meetings before where they told us all about kinds of things that we can find, which is like bits of china that we have. We're on our third level, so we're about 30 centimetres down now. We've got really lovely bits of pot coming up. Our previous tray, this is tray number 3. Our previous tray, we found what they think is probably a little bead that you put in the bottom of a flan dish when you're blind baking. There was also a little bit of glass pottery. There was other stuff as well, like Victorian, I would guess. So, but it's a really great thing to come and do. Bosworth link, go and have a look at it, because there'll be loads of more of these things to go and do.
Here we are at pit 2, having a really good time. We found all sorts of things, from plastic to pottery. Here are my 2 favourite things, 2 pieces of clay pipe.
So I found out about the opportunity to be part of this archaeological dig through some friends via Facebook, and I was put in contact with Gemma, who has allowed me and my family to join the dig today. We're all newbies and we're working pit 3 here. We've got someone with us who's got some experience, which has been really reassuring. We can show finds too, we can make sure that we're digging the pit properly. But it's been such an accessible experience so far. I have long COVID, so I was a bit cautious about would I be able to take part today, but actually it's been really easy for me to do meaningful tasks. I've been just sitting and sieving through some of the soil. We've had some really exciting finds, found some medieval pottery, which has been really lovely. Everyone's been super helpful in terms of explaining what we're doing, what we're finding. So I've also been doing some of the paperwork and really feel like we're contributing to something really significant. And I love history, and the family love history, so we've all really valued today.
I come here today because I really like archaeology, and when I grow up I would like to be an archaeologist. So we have got down to Spit 4 and we have found loads of bricks and these shiny pieces of pottery, and this is my favourite one.
I am the homeowner here, and I own this field in front of the house, which has got some very interesting ancient fish ponds in it. I would always love to have known more about the history of the house and the surrounding area. So I was delighted when I was contacted by Bosworth Link, who asked if they could come and do a dig here. They were very professional. They came to see me, they looked at the property, made everything very clear to me. So I was really very thrilled to have them say they would come here. I have lived in this house for over 50 years now. We've always been fascinated by the odd bits and pieces we've found. I just wish I was 10 years younger and I would have been delighted to have come and joined in with the dig.
Well, welcome to Test Pit 8. I think this is probably the most scenic test pit of all of them. We've got lovely surroundings. We're apparently in the middle of an old moated site which goes all the way around us. And talking to the people that live in the house behind, they said it's been pasture for hundreds of years. Talking of the people in the house behind, they've been absolutely lovely. Had some homemade lemon drizzle cake this morning with tea and coffee, and there's another tray of drinks just waiting to be collected, so that's good. Given the history of the site, we really weren't expecting to find a lot in the first couple of layers because it's been under grass for so long. And in fact, we didn't really find much. The first things we did find were medieval, so none of the granny's teapot and the willow pattern that we usually get, straight to medieval, and some really quite nice bits. The best bit we found is a piece of green glaze with a pattern on it, and then various other bits, quite large sherds of them, of all medieval, and some more, and obviously lots of little ones too. And it's nice to see that the edges aren't freshly broken, so we didn't break them. And then the other thing we found is some big chunks of charcoal. We were finding little flecks, but now we're finding big chunks as well. So that's quite useful. So all in all, it's been a very satisfactory dig so far.
So it's day 2 of the dig here in Shackerstone. We've just started digging, set everything up. Yesterday it was nice, bright and sunny, and we got down to, I think, spit 5, so 50 centimetres. We found so much stuff. We found like clay pipes, bones, even a ring, and some pottery dating to, I think, 400 years ago. It's been so much fun, and we're hoping today to find the bowl of the clay pipe and some other pottery.
This is pit 6, which is in the back garden of a large house, part of which goes back probably to the 18th century. Over here we've got fields, open fields, some ridge and furrow further over. The road we're on is called Allotment Lane, so this is the last house in Allotment Lane, so there used to be allotments here, though that might be older than us. Our pit has gone down so far about ½ a metre. We've gone down through topsoil, quite a lot of topsoil, with a lot of bits of pottery, occasional glass, bones, bits of brick, the usual sort of thing, a few metal objects, most of which seem to have been modern. So we haven't so far found anything that we think is medieval, but as we're at the edge of the village, that's not so surprising. Some of the finds are shards of pottery, as I say, bits of bone, bits of pipe, clay pipes. Those are the main things that we've been finding.
Yeah, this is now day 2. We are backfilling on test pit 5. It's been, I say, moderately successful pit. We've found some medieval bits and pieces and a little bit of plastic, all sorts of odds and sods, and we're on higher ground here, so we think it was probably a slope, but the homeowner has built it up a little bit. This is Sunday morning, and we're actually not going to be finished. We're not going home and having an easy day of it. We're going up to the village hall, and we're going to be assigned a new test pit somewhere. We don't know where, so we'll be busy again in a bit.
I've come down here today with my mum and dad to take part in a taster session at Shackerstone. The reason I'm here is because I've loved archaeology since I was 3. It all started when I was digging up the allotment one day, and I found a piece of pottery. I think it was Roman pottery, and then I just kept digging up the allotment till it went on until I dug up my grandma's allotment, and then I've come down here because I've just joined a brownies at Heather, and I'm now going for my archaeology badge so then I can get my Brownie Bronze Award. My big dream for the future job is an archaeologist at Pompeii in like Italy or Greece maybe. I might just go for an archaeologist, I don't know.
We're here at Pit 18. My name's Lucy and I want to study archaeology when I'm older. Today we found lots of things. We found some Victorian pottery and some medieval pottery, but the Victorian one was lower, which shows that the land has been ploughed. It's very good being here today because I can get lots of experience so that I know what it's like when I actually do it.
We've been promoted as fine washers, and fines collectors go out, collect all the fines, bring them here for us to wash.
We've been washing up a lot of brick, some Victorian pottery and a plastic toy boot. Found Finds washing is probably one of the most important jobs here because we're uncovering what the stuff really is.
So we've had a really successful weekend so far here in Shackerstone. We've managed to get all of our test pits have produced some kinds of archaeological material, which is great, and I think that's kept all of the diggers out there nice and happy and interested with the work. And in here we've had a wonderful team of volunteers, and we've managed to process an awful lot of the finds so far, and we're starting to see some really interesting bits and pieces come through. So in certain areas we're getting a really good medieval signature coming through, so some good groups of medieval pottery, particularly from the area around the mound. So my favourite piece is, so far that I've seen, is this lovely medieval jug spout, and you can really feel sort of where the potter's fingers have been used just to press out the clay to create that spout. You can almost feel the fingerprints in that. And then elsewhere, we've got some more recent materials, including an awful lot of clay pipe fragments, including some nice, relatively identifiable ones, which is always great. A lot of people like finding these because they're quite good to spot and they know what they are, and they're always very excited to come and show us them. And we seem to have a range of different styles as well, so they might be covering a wide time period. And other interesting finds, we've had bits of buckles that we've been able to put to the 17th century from shoes and belts, and really just a really good range of finds as well.
So we're coming to the end of day 2 of the Shackerstone dig now. It's been the most fantastic couple of days. We have had so many new volunteers this time, as well as our usual crew back as well to help us out and help teach some of our new volunteers what to do and what they're looking for in the test pits. We have had a hugely successful weekend thanks to the villagers of Shackerstone, who've really got on board with the project and let us be in their gardens or on their land, and the village has been so welcoming, so it's just been so successful. Thank you to them. Also a big thank you of course to the Market Bosworth Society, who make this project possible, and our funders, the Heritage Lottery Fund, for paying for us to do this project. And a final thank you to the pub as well. I'm currently sat at the pub waiting for the volunteers to come and join us at the end of the day, so thank you very much for them to hosting us. It has been an incredibly successful weekend, so thank you so much to everybody that's taken part. We are super grateful.
It has been an enormously successful weekend. We've dug 19 test pits across the village. We've got significant medieval pottery quantities coming out from key areas of the village. We have got definitely medieval activity around the castle area. We've got definite medieval activity along Main Street in places. We've even got tantalising hints of little prehistoric worked flints coming out from here or there that does suggest, filling in this blank, that there is this earlier prehistoric landscape as well. This is all going to feed into the bigger story of the region, of course, and it's been a brilliant weekend. We've been so welcomed into Shackerstone. It's been brilliant how the village has got involved with this. It's been brilliant to see how happy the volunteers and enthusiastic they've been. It's been brilliant the rain has held off for the 2 days as well. It has been an enormously successful project.